It is a great day to be alive, and I am so thankful for God, Jesus Christ, who lives in us. Today's video is titled, The Destroyer and the Yellow Warning Sign. Before we get started, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing that I'm sharing is financial advice. I'm simply sharing dreams, visions, and interpretations that I feel God has given me as it relates to crypto. Now, let's get into the video. So what I'm about to share is a vision or a dream that I've shared in previous videos. Here is the first video where I shared this last year. Well, this is one of the videos. The first time that I shared this dream or this vision was with Evangelist Lauren last year. And this vision or dream I had on July 14th, 2024. In getting into this dream, there were a total of 4 ships. I saw 4 ships. 3 of these ships were blocking the 4th ship. The 4th ship was horizontal to the other 3. And on the back of the 4th ship, I saw a yellow warning sign. As I began to wake up or come out of this vision, I heard the words, "The fight will be in the waters. You will hear it, but you will not see it." After drawing a picture of the type of ship that I saw in this dream, my husband later identified this ship as being a destroyer. Again, the message was, the fight will be in the water. You will hear it, but you will not see it. So, since having this dream, 2 groups come to mind. The first group being the Houthis, or the Yemens, and the second group being Venezuela. So the Houthis were causing trouble in the Red Sea, and then we saw that as the Trump administration came in, they began to do airstrikes. And then there was the signal security breach that was all in the news during this time. Was it a security breach? Was it not a security breach? That some of this information was shared within a private group, and then a person, a journalist that should not have been in that group, was added. Then we move on to Venezuela, and the now Department of War has what they call Operation Southern Spear. This was launched in November 2025. And what some may be referring to as a war on drugs. We see that these boat strikes off of Venezuela, as this article says, marks a shift in 54-year U.S. war on drugs. And we know that there have been numerous strikes that have taken place off of Venezuela having to do with this war on drugs. And I have included several different articles as it relates to what has been taking place from the beginning up until now. This one says, top military lawyers raise concerns about Trump's drug boat strikes. These strikes have been said to be causing a type of escalation between the U.S. and Venezuela. This one says Venezuela orders massive mobilization as U.S. aircraft carrier approaches. And with all of this going on, we cannot forget to take a look at Venezuela's allies. One being China, the other being Russia. I honestly don't know the amount of support that Venezuela is getting from either. We know that Russia is referred to as being the bear. This article says Russia floats missile supplies to Maduro as U.S. pressure mounts. Again, Russia is known as the bear. And speaking of bears, we have another bear, or what social media refers to him as being Pooh Bear. This article goes on to say that this comparison began in 2013. And of course, China does not like that too much. But the way I looked at this was, again, another comparison to a bear. So again, we have Russia being symbolic of a bear, as well as the president of China being symbolic of a bear. So getting into the interpretation of this dream, seeing 3 U.S. ships blocking another U.S. ship to me is symbolic of the fact that everyone is not in agreement with what is happening with Venezuela. I believe the caution sign is symbolic of those individuals being cautious about these airstrikes that are taking place. And I also believe that this is an overall warning about what is taking place. What is the warning that God is trying to show us here as it relates to these Venezuelan airstrikes? Now, we talked about the issue with headset and signal. And as I was preparing this video a few days ago, news last week came up about how this was finally viewed as confidential information was indeed shared. Along the same lines with headset as it relates to Venezuela, there was something that they're calling a double tap that took place in September where a boat in Venezuela was struck twice. And so Hedseth, as well as another individual, has been under fire about that as well. Overall, I feel that this dream has to do with both of these groups. If I had to pick one more than the other, I would most definitely say Venezuela. But of course, all of this is still unfolding. Again, the message from this dream about the destroyer: the fight will be in the water. You will hear it, but you will not see it. That is all that I have for this video. Until the next one, God bless.